When you want to plot a route for your motorcycle adventure, there's all sorts of ways of doing it. First of all, you can get a map out, can't you, and do it the old-fashioned way. And the advantage of having sat-nav, of course, is that you don't have to worry about stopping and looking, and the sat-nav will direct you in the way that you want to go. And the most modern bikes, the 1250 RT this year, coming out with a very big TFT screen. BMW do a free app, looks very much like Google Maps, looks very good. And that TFT screen and the integration from BMW app will give you all sorts of information for your route. But there is still Basecamp, and I've heard it said that Basecamp is finished, it's dead with these new BMW apps. I don't necessarily agree. But you can use Google Maps, and that is an incredibly fast way of plotting routes, which I like to do in the winter for coming trips in the summer. So how do you plot on Google Maps and get it into your Navigator or your TFT screen or your BMW app? Let's just first of all do a short trip from CMC in Claycross in Derbyshire, big motorbike dealer, 14 or 15 miles to Chatsworth House to show you how I do it. You might have found a much better way. But let me just show you how I do it and how you transfer it into Basecamp. So you want to plot a route in Google Maps. It's not the one that you're used to maybe on your phone or on your iPad. You need Google My Maps. There's a distinction because on Google My Maps you can adjust the route as you want to go. You open an account, have a look on YouTube, key it in, and you'll find loads of tutorials. When you get to Google My Maps, this is what you see. So I've just opened it in the Derbyshire, Yorkshire area. What I do then is go into the menu, go on to My Places or Your Places, Maps, Create Map. Just let it load, and there we have it. I want to go, as I said, from CMC. So first of all, I start a drive-in route. There's no motorbikes on this. Drive-in route. I just tap in there and I've got an A and a B. I know my A, CMC, well that's brought up CMC all the way around the world. I need CMC motorcycles in Claycross. Believe me, you wouldn't do that on Basecamp. And I want Chatsworth House. Chatsworth finds it straight away, you see. That's the advantage. And there's your route. As instant as that. And this is quite a good route actually. Let me just enlarge it a little bit. This is CMC, exactly there. I would definitely take this route this way. This way. And I would come up here, but I wouldn't come this way round. This is a very steep hill with a sharp hairpin on it that you can see. Very tricky hairpin, wrong camber, everything. It wouldn't be the way bikers who know this area. If you don't know it, you've got no choice. But the way is to turn right and come along here and down here. With Google Maps, wherever you stop your hand, you get a little white circle, you see. So you can drag the route, just right, left click it and drag it. That's so simple, isn't it? However, there's a big problem here. And I know the problem because I know the area. I want to go down this hill. It's quite a good biking route, this one. It's narrow, but it's beautiful, windy, down a hill to Beeley here. And the route should have, by me moving the route there, it should have taken me down. And there's one very good thing, and there's one very big problem that Google Maps now is showing us. The good thing, the amazing thing, that I don't know how it does it, is it's not taking me down this road because that road just happens to be closed. I think they're resurfacing it. that the road is closed to all traffic. How does Google Maps know that? Now this isn't going to help you if you plot in winter for the following summer, but it helps you on any day that you want to go out for a ride. Google Maps will not take you down there. Basecamp could not do that. Google Maps is up to date. And how they do it, I don't know. So what it's done is taken me down here, which looks quite a good route. But it isn't. This isn't a road at all. This is the worst track you can imagine. It's big boulders and rocks. It's not even a light gravel. It is horrendous. A few enduro bikes and will have a go at it, off-road bikes, but no way would you turn right there. And if you didn't know the area, you just plot that in and your sat-nav would tell you to turn right there and you would have horrors. You'd have to try and turn around because this road is closed. So a major advantage of Google Maps is it picks up somehow what I've found 2 or 3 times, roadworks, but it takes you down tracks. So in this case, I've got to go back to the way that Google Maps suggested and face this hairpin, but it's a road, it's not a track. So we come along here, which is correct, heading towards Chatsworth House. Wonderful route. Let me just enlarge it a little. And you see that we get to Chatsworth House, a most direct way. I'll come down a bit to get it all in one go. So, a very direct way. Not the way I would have wanted to go, but thank you, Google Maps. You've stopped me getting stuck on this corner. Now let's look at a problem yet again that we just saw. If I enlarge this part, you notice it takes us along here perfectly into Chatsworth House. That is not a road. It's 100% not a road. It is a track. It's not covered with boulders. It's a very good track. And Chatsworth open it up when there's festivals or summer fairs or cinema nights or whatever it is they're doing in the grounds. And it's got a locked gate here. I'll show you because I'll make this trip and I'll show you. You cannot get on that track. It's crazy. Google Maps doesn't seem to allow for that. It's taking you on a track that is closed to the public. The way to go, and it's very quick to do it, is you just put your cursor anywhere, take it there, and there it is. That's the exact way to get to Chatsworth House. But that's because I know it. If you didn't know it, Google Maps would take you all over the place, and it has taken, on European trips, it's taken us up mountains to dead ends in Spain. We've crossed little bridges where they were so narrow, they're for walkers only. We couldn't even put our feet down. We've got into real pickle by using Google Maps, thinking we're following a road. Basecamp will not let you do that. So we'll call it CMC to Chatsworth and just save that. That's in here. Up here is your main heading. You could just change that and call it test to Chatsworth. And that just helps you keep things in order because this is just an experiment. Now you go to KLM file by hitting these 3 ellipses down to KML file. I keep saying KLM. Export to KML file, hit that. You don't want the entire map, you want the one that you've named, CMC to Chatsworth, and you want export to KML. Hit that, download. Now on my Mac, the download is in here. I drag it and put it on my desktop. Come back to this. So that's me finished with Google Maps side. The next stage is transferring this to Basecamp. So what I need to do is create a new list, and then I rename that list CMC to Chatsworth and return, and it puts it down here. That KLM file I had, and I drag it into there. And that's it. That's how quick it is to put the Google Maps, the Google My Maps route into Basecamp. But we haven't finished yet. You notice it's come up with a track. So that has to be changed to a route, but there's a few more steps. So let's just open that. And one thing I want to say, it's 14.3 miles. We can see it's the route that I chose. It's down that tricky hairpin and through, not by the river, where Basecamp doesn't show you a road, does it? So there it is as a track. The first thing I do, just to see it better, is change the colour from dark grey to green. Now, the thing I want to point out is it gives you two pieces of information here. It's 651 points. So you see all these little black dots all the way around. And it's 14.3 miles. Now you would think that that is 651 waypoints, so the route will be so accurate. That is mistake number one. How many waypoints or veer points are on this route? Look over here. There's two. Chatsworth House, CMC. It turns it the other way around. So CMC to Chatsworth House. CMC to Chatsworth House, 2 waypoints. That means if you deviated off this route, and this is only a short one, if you deviated off, if you came off to have a coffee somewhere and you came off the route, the sat-nav will then say, I know where you want to go, so I'm going to take you my way. And it'll find the fastest way, usually a motorway, and it can take an 8-hour drive through all the beautiful countryside there in a couple of hours. It's happened to me right through Spain. You cannot deviate because all it knows is your beginning and your end. So that's why we have to do some things. So the first thing we do is go to Activity and change it to Direct. It'd be better if it actually had a helicopter because it's going to give us it in straight lines. Then we go to the top toolbar, Basecamp, Preferences. Let me just bring it down here. Preferences and Advanced. Now have a look at this. Veer points created when converting a track to a route. And you can change this figure. It says 10. Remember, we have 2. And if you deviate between those 2, that's it. Your route's gone. And this is only 14 miles. What if it was 340 miles? Your route is gone. All it will know is the end result, and it'll get you there the quickest, or whatever way that your navigator set up, which will probably be the quickest way. It should be the quickest way. And that's how it'll do it. Now we can put veer points in the route. So this 651, I don't know what it is, somebody will know what it is. 651 points has no relation to coming into Basecamp and your actual route when you navigate. I tend to use 1 point every 4 miles. So 100 miles I might use 20-25 points. 200 miles 40 or 50, it's up to you. But you want them regular, and then you won't deviate from that route. You won't be put off it. So 10 is fine. That's 1 every mile almost, isn't it? Go back to Create Route. Right click here. Now you can create a route from a track. And you hit that. Let me close some of these so you can see what it's done. Now you've got the helicopter flight path. That's why you put direct. Now we change the activity back. I don't really know why we do all this, but we do. This is how it works. You change it back to your motorbike. Now it's going to calculate it. So you've got to give it a moment to do all its calculations for those 10 via points, and here it goes. Bingo. You've got your route. Now we go back to it, and there it is. That's your motorbike route compared to your route. So what I do now is transfer it, send it to my device, which of course is plugged in, send, and it's done. It's in my Navigator 6, and I can go and ride that route to show you what it actually looks like on the road. So the only other thing I want to show you now is how to get it to your BMW app. I've not got one because I haven't got a TFT screen, but you need to transfer this to your BMW app or to your friends who've got whatever they've got for navigating. Normally it's another navigator, and you need to convert this to a Gpx file, not a KML, Gpx. It's ever so easy. You go into your toolbar and export CMC to Chatsworth KLM. You tap that and let it just do its job. And now you see the format is a Gpx file here. Exchange format version 1.1, Gpx file. That's your title. I do it to my desktop. All I do is export. It's exporting the data. And then in my desktop is that file ready to email to everybody. The ones with the BMW app put it straight into the app, and then that links to their TFT screen. The ones with the Navigator type systems or Garmin systems can put it into their Garmin, into Basecamp, because it is Basecamp, straight into their Garmin. So you can share it with whatever system anybody's got. Okay, so I've set my sat-nav. There it is from a closed CMC on Monday the 12th. I thought they would be open. Maybe not. Well, obviously not. Let me just set my it won't let you do anything if it knows you're driving. How does it know these things? Quite amazing, eh? I want to switch on the is it called relive? That one. Relive. Trouble is with these glasses I can't start. So that will record the whole journey, which is fascinating in itself. So let me turn around and start. And see all sorts of things. Whether this new idea with the GoPro will keep the battery charged. Well, no, there's no battery in it. That's the whole advantage. No battery at all. Working off a power bank in my pocket because I am at my wit's end, stopping every 30 minutes to put a new battery in the GoPro. And the trouble is you can't, especially if you're with friends on a long journey that's 5 or 6 hours. You just cannot stop. Keep stopping, changing the batteries every 30 minutes. Now I've tried and tried with an external battery, but it never works. And then one of my YouTubers said try it without the battery in. I thought, what is he talking about? Without the battery in? Wow, it works. Well, it works on my office desk, but will it work here? You can actually see Relive on my phone, on my mobile. All you'll see is a black screen with a blue line. That's a continuous live where I am. So it tracks you from outer space somehow, and it prints it for you to play back afterwards. God, there's some technology nowadays, aren't there? So I'm exactly on the route. This is a road that's closed. Even the policeman turned off then, you see. So that is the road that is closed, that Google Maps would not take me down before I got to that corner because the hill is closed. So now I have to go this way and face the tricky hairpin bends. Very, very steep. First gear. That's one, and this is the difficult one. Mind you, compared to Switzerland. But for Britain, this is pretty bad. You see the camber on it as well, and a car coming up. Not easy, and the next. Another car coming up because they're all coming this way. That's it, it's over with. Not enjoyable. But we have to come this way because the road is closed. Google Maps knew the road was closed. Basecamp doesn't know things like that. So now I turn right here. My GoPro's been running for 21 minutes. Normally now I'd be thinking, well, in 10 minutes it's going to switch off. Now this is a road on the right that I should have come out at Beeley Village had the road been opened. It's a very nice route, especially to go up it on a bike. But for some reason it's completely closed. Has been for a couple of weeks at least. Now, do you remember the next problem I found with Google Maps was that it took me on the road to the right of the river to get to Chatsworth House, but there is no road. There's a track for special events that the estate opens the gate, which is locked. So on Google Maps now, if I was using just Google Maps, on this corner it would ask me to go straight on, and you'll see that you can't, even if you wanted to, you can't, because unless they're using it, the gate is locked. There it is, that blue gate right in front of you there, private it says. That is where Google Maps wanted to take me. That worries me very much. And I've heard a few comments that although we moan about Basecamp, when it comes to roads, Garmin have got it sorted. The house is down there. It's so small on the GoPro, I know. I don't know how close to the house I can get, because you're only allowed in if you've pre-booked parking. So I'm going to try and go down to the house ready to turn around, if there's a place to turn around. So I'm hoping I don't get stuck. Pre-booked tickets only. I just want to go so far and turn around. What an incredible place this is. It's another one of those on the bucket list that you've got to come and go around. There's some marvellous works of art, and what I was amazed at was, I never found it a second time, but there's a rosary from Henry VIII in a cupboard, just put in a cupboard, and you think, wow, Henry VIII, who broke away from the Catholic Church, there's actual rosary there. Lovely day, the sun is shining. Actually, I can turn around here, so let me pull in, let the car pass that's behind me. Oh, he's pulled in as well. That's a lovely view, isn't it? Chatsworth is so nice. Chatsworth security. That's lovely. So that is the route. Bang on. Exactly right.